Greetings friends. I'm here in my old studio, Bridge the Gap Yoga. Some of you may be familiar with this space. And in today's video, I want to break down just a little bit of Surya Namaskar, because this is part of our daily Sādhana series. We're really working the Sun Salutation in these practices. So I'm just going to go through step by step. This is a really short video, so it might be a refresher, but it also might offer some tips and tricks on how to get the most out of Surya Namaskar. So with Surya Namaskar, the standing position that we start in, the big toes are touching, the heels are slightly apart. It's also okay if your feet are a little bit apart. You don't have to have the feet touching, but what we do want to have is the big toes pushed down and the outer edges of the heels pushed down. And this will make it'll feel like the inner legs, the inside of your legs gets longer and the outside of your legs gets shorter. And this will help us align the hips. So we don't want to be forward or backward with the hips. We want to be firm through the bones of the legs, all the way down to the feet. And then from here, we can bring our palms to prayer. This is the beginning and the end of Surya Namaskar. Here we take a breath in. And then when we exhale, I like to push the hands down and to put a little bend in the knees, because the next inhale will lift the arms, but we want to use the legs to initiate the inhale. So it's like you're inhaling from your feet, up your legs, up your torso, through your arms, through your fingertips. So that's the top of the inhale. And the inhale will go past the fingertips, and we start our exhale. And you can either bring your palms through prayer into forward fold, or sweep the arms out and down into forward fold. And in the forward fold, we like to bend the knees so that we're not straightening the knees and rounding the back. With a bend in the knees, we can bring the tailbone up and bring the belly closer to the thighs. That's what we're looking for. Again, the feet stay strong, so the big toes push down, outer heels push down, inside of the legs draw up to lift the tailbone to the sky. That's the exhale. This is the third posture in our sequence of Surya Namaskar. And then on the inhale, we start with the right leg, and we bend the right leg, and the left knee is also bent, so you're not locking that knee, okay? So this movement here is not a sloppy movement, okay? That's the inhale, and then we push through the heel to lengthen the leg back. It's not just you know what I mean? You're not just sloppily banging the foot back there. There's an activation in the hamstring and then a push through the glute to drive the leg back, because by the time we put the toe down, we want that leg to be kicking back and strong, so that when we come into the lunge, the right leg is already really rooted. A lot of times people come into the lunge and they forget about the right leg. They forget about the heel of the back foot, and then they're just cranking on the lower back. And that's not necessarily what we're looking for, right? So we want to push through the heel as we step it back. And that way the right knee and the left knee move away from each other and the sternum shines forward. You can be on your fingertips for this. The inside of my legs is squeezing in, yeah? There's this pulling in, like to draw everything towards midline, and this will also help me keep the navel back. So that's the inhale as we come to lunge. And then if we're moving quickly, we exhale and that left leg slides back into plank, and the exhale continues as we lower down. Now, as we lower down, options are to lower the knees and then lower the chest. That's a more traditional way to do it, the 8-point pose. Or we lower down like a bottom of a push-up. But we want to make sure that the body stays firm, so that when we inhale next into the back bend, that we're not cranking the lower back. So the body staying firm, we need to keep the legs, and again, that has to do with the heels pushing back. Just like in the lunge, when we're pushing through the heel of the back leg, the same thing happens when we push through this leg and set it down. So the heels and the inside of the legs are pushing down. That's what I say that's what I mean when I say use your legs, because then when we move here, the legs aren't sloppy.
right? They're firm. And this is important when we move into an upward dog shape where the thighs come off the ground, right? Because a Bhujangasana cobra is just like this. The pubic bone's pushing down, the tops of the thighs are pushing down, the tops of the feet are pushing down. And if we want to take this further and straighten the arms, we just want to make sure that we're not cranking on the lower back. So that's the inhale. And if you feel strong and your lower back is safe for it, you can lift the thighs off the ground. But to keep the lower back safe, the lower belly has to pull in, which will cause the tailbone to move down towards the space between the heels, right? And that's how we slide into the back bend. The ribs stay pulling in, the collarbones are broad. Elbows don't need to straighten, they can stay bent. This is where a lot of people mess up. The lowering down, the shoulders come forward, and then they rush this motion and they have no neck. And the base of the skull gets all cramped. We want to keep the shoulders down and lift the base of the skull. Yeah. And then we move back on the exhale. You can add an extra push-up there if you feel like it. You don't have to. You can come from your back bend and you can slide back a little easier into downward dog. And in downward dog, the same thing applies. The heels are strong, the inner legs are strong, the tailbone's lifting, the knees can be bent. That way we can load the inhale into the lunge, and that left leg stays really rooted, right? And then on the exhale, you slide forward. Everything, every motion, every space between each movement is intentional. And then we're in that forward fold position. Exhale. Big toes push down. Outer edges of the heels push down. That's the exhale. And then you push through your feet as you inhale and you rise. And the inhale goes beyond the fingertips once again. And then you can either exhale, slide the hands down the center, or sometimes what I like to do is sweep the arms down. And at the end of the exhale, I touch the tip of the thumb to the third eye. So then I'm finished with that half round. The inhale comes. And the exhale comes, and I'm on to the next side. In this case, it's the left leg. Push through the heel. Push the knees away from each other. Sternum forward. Lengthen the back of the neck. Plant the hands. Lower down. Keep the legs strong. Use your legs. Inhale into the back bend. Beware of the lower back. Exhale. Extra push-up if you want. Downward dog. Left leg. Inhale. Keep your back foot strong and pushing. Exhale. Right leg steps up. Intentional. Push through your feet. Exhale. So that is Surya Namaskar. We did both legs, right leg, left leg, and that would be a full round. And remember to notice all those little micro adjustments. That way when you're flowing, you're really paying attention to all these refinements. I talk about tightening the nuts and the bolts on the pose. Yeah, go have fun. Enjoy the ritual dance of the sun, Surya Namaskar. I'll see you guys in practice. Peace.